Hey everybody, welcome back to Some Guys Movie Reviews. Today I'm talking about Hypnotic. Hypnotic stars Ben Affleck and Alice Braga. It tells the story of a detective whose daughter has gone missing when a bank heist happens, which ends up revealing clues to his daughter's whereabouts. This movie is going to go down as one of the highlights of the year for me, not because it's a fantastic film. It's not. It has issues. However, it far exceeded my expectations. When I first saw the trailer for this film, I was like, oh my goodness, this does not look good. And then I saw some of the reviews coming out. I'm like, ooh, sounds like a mess. But I was still excited to see it just because I love seeing movies. So when I walked in, I sit down, you get through the first two acts, and honestly, you're kind of left scratching your head. Stuff doesn't make sense entirely, but you're along for the ride, and the third act is really where this comes full circle. This is where I feel like the marketing let down this film. It should have at least mentioned or maybe highlighted more of the sci-fi elements of this film, because the sci-fi elements is really what brings this movie together. If you go into it just thinking it's this detective story, it's kind of weird when all of this other stuff starts happening because it doesn't make sense. You're like, why doesn't this make sense? I think when it gets to the third act and the payoff, the reveal of what's actually going on here, at least for me, it does a great job of explaining all of or at least most of my issues with the first two acts, because it was really clever and not something that I was expecting. So I didn't easily guess this film. It wasn't predictable in my opinion. I will say I do see how some might find it maybe too absurd, or they feel like it comes out of nowhere. Or maybe it's too neatly plotted. You know, like I said, I do feel like it ties up a lot of those inconsistencies from the first two acts. So some might feel like it's cheating a bit. But honestly, that didn't bother me. It worked for me. I thought it was pretty cool. And like I said, it's not the greatest movie of the year, and it won't be in my top 10, but I had a really fun time with this film. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's really good. I recommend checking this one out. You know, it might surprise you. All right, guys, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. Like, subscribe, share. We'll definitely see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.